So the first thing that we need to do is add our entities. Now, you'll notice that the entity is defined. This doesn't, if you're familiar with XML entity declarations, usually you don't see the percent here. What this percent says is that this is specific to this DTD, and it's not, and we don't want this to show up in, we don't want this entity to be available in any of the XML documents that are processed by this. So the percent just limits this entity to the DTD. So here we're defining two entities. We're defining our new entity iList and our entity ingredient list. So next we want to look for our prereq. So here's where prereq is. That's where prereq is used. Here's where prereq is defined. Now, it turns out prereq actually, its content model is actually defined in an entity. And if we wanted to be really elegant, we could go out and find this entity and make the modification in the base level entity. But I know enough here to know that we can make a small change. And just for time's sake, we're going to say a prereq consists of all of these possible things plus our new iList. And the asterisk says these can appear in any order. And then down here at the bottom, we're going to add two new definitions, two new element definitions. So here we have new elements for our iList, and we say our iList contains one or more ingredient item, and then our ingredient element says it contains whatever is in a standard list item. And so I actually borrowed this straight from the LI template. Now, one thing I don't have in my cheat file, so excuse me, I'm just going to have to go quickly and find this. I need to copy. I didn't have this set aside for some reason. So now we've defined our entities. We've declared the structure. So the last thing we need to do is declare the inheritance. And so we say, here's our iList. This is a class, and it inherits from topic UL. So any behavior that's defined for topic UL is also going to be available to our new thing, task iList. And then same thing for our ingredient element. Ingredient element inherits from topic LI, and we're calling this task ingredient. So that's everything in place. So now our Open Toolkit is all set up and prepared for handling this. What we need now, though, is we actually need some data to do this. And so, and I will include this in the files that I pass to you. Here we have our tasks section. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add to that a new file called bubble formula. And we can take a brief look at that. It's a standard XML file. It defines a task. And you notice in here, within the prereq, we have our iList and ingredient items there in the iList. So one more thing we need to do. So that file's there. The only other thing we need to do then is we need to make sure then that our DITA map that we use, hierarchy.ditamap, actually points to that file. So the last thing we need to do here is add to our, here's our list of tasks. So we're going to add here a task of our own. This points to our bubble formula. Say task, so we're going to save that. So now we can run the Open Toolkit one last time. And we get that glorious build successful at the end. So let's do this. Let's reload this. And you'll notice now we have a new item in our index. It's big bubble formula, so we can click on that. And what opens in here. So now we have our new XML file is processed, and our ingredient list was handled just like a bulleted list. So you notice what we did here was we took advantage of the DITA Open Toolkit, and we said we don't need to implement the XSL that transforms this new element into, or these two new elements into a UList and iList items. We just take advantage of what's already in the Open Toolkit. And this is certainly one of the biggest payoffs of using the Open Toolkit. One of the nicest feelings of all is when you can get in there, you need to do something, and you can say, aha, I can just add this little tweak, and everything else is going to work for me. And lo and behold, it does. It's a very nice thing. So, anything else to add here? There was one other thing circulating around in my mind that I needed to add here. Oh yes, just that we chose to use the behavior of UL and LI, but if we wanted to, we could go in and modify first. If in the spirit of hacking, you might go in and modify DITA to HTML impl and add your own templates for handling these new elements. And then you could actually get the behavior that you wanted. Say you wanted to use a different style. You could say, use a different CSS class. So you can apply all the other things that we've seen in today's demo back into this and create your own output. So that essentially brings me to the end of the demo. Let's see if there's anything else here that I wanted to add. So